G'day! In today's video I'm doing a screen replacement on a Samsung Galaxy A51s. The model number A515S, or F. So I've had my blue heat pad here for about 10 minutes at 70 degrees. And now I'm going to use a thin metal pry tool with some isopropyl on it to kind of saw my way into the back of the phone. Now this probably won't go as easy for you. I've had a fair bit of experience using this method. There we go, and we're in. You have to be cautious of this flex cable as you're cutting your way in there. And also the back plastic is usually fairly weak, so I find there's a high chance that you could tear that while trying to get it open. And from here, I use my Phillips head screwdriver, and we're going to remove all the bits, all the Phillips head screws. Now these screws don't really want to leave after I've unscrewed them. So I'm just going to go over them and then use a pair of tweezers to remove them. The first thing we're going to want to do once we get into here and remove the back cover is to disconnect the battery. And we also need to remove the SIM tray on the side. I do find it a bit challenging to remove that. What I normally do from there is proceed further, take the back trim off, or the frame trim I will call it. And slide it outwards, like so. Next up from here, I'll disconnect the flex cables. Usually start in the corner and just pry up. Over there. And I'm going to focus on the charger port area. Up to there. Next up, the under-screen fingerprint scanner. Go, and it's 2 screws back in there. Reconnect here, looking good. Next I'll move up a little bit of the phone. I want to take the battery out, so I'm going to use some isopropyl down the bottom here, spray a run of it down the bottom. Use a pry tool, plastic pry tool preferably. Lift out the battery like so. We'll put a new strip of adhesive over here. Doesn't have to be much, as that original adhesive should become tacky once more. So I'm going to use some tape. If I can find the end. As I said, it doesn't need to be much at all. Single strip. There. And loosely sit the battery in. There we go. Next up, I want to remove and swap over the antenna cable. I'll take it out, disconnect it from over here. There we go. Now I need to fold the screen over and run it just in this gap that's here. Connect up the lower end here. There we go. Now I've still got heat going through. We'll connect up the screen. But I still do have heat going through the actual blue heat pad in the background, or in the bottom, under the screen, as it keeps everything relatively tacky and pliable. Next up, black screw here. It comes out. Doesn't look to be too many other screws here actually. Just pull off the side. There we go. Next of all, we're going to take out the earpiece speaker. So here I try and dig underneath the speaker. There we go. Just to make sure it all comes out as one little part, like that. Now I've got to install it over here. Installation's pretty darn easy, just line it up, push it down. I've got to remove the protective film, that's so crap just doesn't get in your sensors. And there we go. Black screw back in. Connect the antenna cable, which is a somewhat challenging thing to do. Typically I just put my finger over it and wiggle it just slightly. Usually it grips it into place from there. Sometimes you do need to have downwards force, so we'll use a pair of tweezers. Once it's on, it should just be able to spin relatively freely like that. There we go. Run that back in here. Push the battery down. Reconnect the flex cable. Just click in. Same with down the bottom. And the battery. So from here, we've pretty much salvaged everything that we need off the old display. So that is right to go to e-waste. Zoom you guys out a bit. Now it's a matter of putting the back onto the phone. Like so. I'm going to turn my heat off now. And just keep going around the phone, squishing. There we go. And now what we've got to do, start putting those Phillips head screws back in. Now, another thing you may have to do is clear the adhesive, or the double-sided adhesive that's on the back of the phone, or on the back cover of the phone, depending on how much damage it's done. Classify that as relatively fine, so that should be perfectly good. Once you've put your screws all back in, put your SIM tray back in, and you're pretty much right to power up your phone from there. So I'll catch you guys later. I'm just going to continue doing this. And I'll see you guys in another video. See yous.